Hello, hello. This is the Awful and Awesome Entertainment Wrap, episode 382. This is Rajyasree Sen.
And this is Abhinandan Sekhri bringing you this episode the week after Women's Day, which is why we have a Women's Day special, but 1 week later. Or 2 weeks later.
2 weeks later. But we feel very strongly for women, so we are still going to talk about Women's Day, which we should. I have a stone heart. I don't feel strongly.
Because so many Women's Day commercials and motivational videos were made by various brands. So which is why we thought we must review them and see which ones were good, which ones are bad, and which ones are mediocre. So that's coming up. All you brands who took out a Women's Day commercial or video, see if you feature on this list. Did Royal Stag do any?
Every film of theirs has strong female characters, which is why I review them. We have a film this time also, but Abhinandan just... I think you're also a little envious of Jim Sarb because you just don't want to. It's like Saif and Jim Sarb and all.
He's an all Seagram hunter.
I'm getting suspicious. He's also getting a pity.
That's his payment.
That's his payment.
One pity whiskey of, what's it called?
Of Royal Stag.
It's not Royal Stag. Royal Stag.
Royal Stag. But
not
this
stag,
one
stag.
was...
Say Stag.
I can't. There's only so much I can be classless also. There are two other video links that we will also include, which I'll show them to you while we are this thing, featuring two very strong women who public figures, and because they have a strong impact on the country, and they are fabulous short videos that I want to.
Okay, so you can talk about those.
Yeah, one is with Munmun Sen.
Okay.
The other is with Radhe Ma.
Okay. Very good.
So
we'll talk about
fabulous.
those. And we will be talking about Superman, the Christopher Reeve story, like we promised you
Yes.
last time. And we have a lot of emails. Thank you so much for writing in. Like I said, we'll read the 150 words, and most of them are within 150 words, but the ones that aren't, the 151st word onwards, we would have to compress. But thank you for writing. Keep writing in. And you guys also subscribed, so thank you for that. So Rajyasree Sen, should we start with the headlines?
No, we'll give the good news. Oh, we'll give the good news, which is not the headlines. The good news that we'll have another episode next week.
We have an additional episode this month on popular demand.
And we will have a star guest on it, an in-house star guest.
We'll talk about emergency and
adolescence, which I want everyone to who's listening, because the world is listening to us. Y'all must watch Adolescence and then listen to the review.
It. But I'll, for the first time, watching something within the year of its release.
That's within the month of its release. It's too much.
But let's see if I watch.
Don't make promises. That's what I was going to say. Headlines.
In good news for Vicky Kaushal, Chhava has collected 760 crores worldwide, as reported by various headlines.
In bad news for the residents of Maharashtra, and for India, I would say, the movie's propaganda has triggered a wave of violence in Nagpur over demand to remove Aurangzeb's tomb. Of course, since we are ill-informed people, we don't realize that Aurangzeb was just buried without any paraphernalia. His bones have entered into the earth, so you won't find much.
Also, I guess these guys haven't read history. Those of you who want to take out his, tomb, dig him out again, just read up what happened to Oliver Cromwell and what that actually did to the legend of Oliver Cromwell. So it's good to know history.
I'll say this, the first part.
Please.
Okay, because I will not
tolerate me saying this.
In good news, Saif Ali Khan's son, Ibrahim Ali Khan, made his Bollywood debut with Nadanya.
In bad news, Ibrahim's acting skills seem to be as good as Saif's cricket skills or acting skills. And actually, one person, I don't know whether that person was trying to stand up for all the trolling that Ibrahim got or not, said that people should take it easy on Ibrahim. His debut was better than Saif's. So I don't know whether that was a compliment. He was trolling.
You only must have written. You should not spend your time writing.
This was one Bollywood person only said. It was a headline. Is the person supporting Ibrahim or?
Even Ibrahim doesn't know. I could not bring myself, even though our producer told us to watch this, but I could not bring myself to watch even 5 minutes of it because Khushi Kapoor and Ibrahim Ali Khan's combination is too much for me.
It's like watching Saif Ali Khan and Kareena Kapoor.
Please. Have they ever done a film? Oh, of course they have. I like that film, Agent Vinod and Kurban. Only I like those films. In good news, Kangna Ranaut said that she is not keen on an Oscars push for Emergency as the awards are silly.
In interesting news, she predicted a national award for the film.
Antaryami.
I don't think she'll get.
You
And that will be even a
think?
bigger chop.
Yeah.
Dude, when it was being
She
banned
was
in
very
Punjab,
upset.
no one BJP stood up for her. It wasn't made tax-free in any BJP ruled state.
And those the amount of cuts they
Cuts that
asked
she
for,
had to do.
35 cuts, I think.
Yeah.
In good news, influencer Ori was booked for allegedly consuming alcohol at a Katra hotel near Vaishno Devi, which is a holy Hindu shrine.
In better news, angered netizens have called for a ban on Ori. Whatever that means.
Ban.
So, theek hai. Very good. This is like, and Arnab had a full debate on him on prime time.
On Ori?
Yeah.
Wait till he gets a call from the Ambanis. Ori is the Ambanis like social media expert.
Whatever
But
that
he
means.
has a social media expert of his own. Who is
See the
who?
beauty.
See, these tips in trivia you'll only get from me. Do you know who Kim Sharma is?
She was in Mohabbatein.
Mohabbatein. She's a social media and she's quite smart, I have to say.
Okay. So, thank you, Rajyasree. With that, let's come to... First, do you want to do Superman or should we do the Women's Day ads first?
We do 3 Women's Day ads, then Superman, then we'll again mix and match. And some
Okay.
letters.
No.
No?
Let's just do
Women's
one at a
Day.
time. So, Women's Day ads. So, we are going to be reviewing 6 of them. Leap Club, which I don't know what it is, but it had a Women's Day ad motivation. Then Cast 24, Tanishq, the jewelry brand, Barbie, the dolls, Prega News, which tells you if you're pregnant, but only tells women if they're pregnant.
Means? What do you mean only tells women if they are pregnant?
No, I just say tells you.
Oh, tells you. Yeah,
So maybe the men can... And
Leap
Hyundai.
Club is something to do with India's first community workspace exclusively for women.
Oh, I see. Okay. So basically, you can work without being leered at.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Not a bad thing.
So, Rajyasree, why don't you go first? These were the best or the worst that our researchers had pulled out.
Yeah.
And even I tried to look around.
So, I'll start with Hyundai, which is the break on stereotypes. Break being they're punning. Not breaking only, breaking also. Because it's a car thing. And it has this woman who basically just reverse parks someone's car for them. So the part which I found a bit ridiculous is that would you just get out of your car and give the keys to some stranger to
Oh, are you
What
saying
if
just
they-
because she's a woman?
No, I'm saying what if she'd driven off with his car? Then
Well, I mean, if someone is not being able to park, they can also give it to a man. And I know people who've done that. But anyway, I think I'm interested to see how you think you're sexist.
I am very sexist. One would not think, but I'm not.
So I have notes on each of these. So actually, Hyundai was the one that I thought was out of the 6, the best.
May I?
Thank you. So actually, it was simple and direct. It did not try too hard with the rest, and we'll come to the rest, to complicate the message and make it.
Yeah, it was short also.
It was said, dude, women can park better than men. And he gave out and she parked in a tight spot, which was actually not that tight. It's actually...
I can park in there.
Yeah, and it's quite easy to park reverse. It would have been tricky had it been parallel parking. That would have been the real one. The back
That
to back.
maybe she doesn't know how to parallel park the
Again, you're being
actress, so she
sexist.
said, I'm just saying.
Rajyasree, are you a good driver?
I'm a very good driver.
She's a
Arey,
very
I'm a very good driver. I used to drive here also. You've forgotten?
No, I mean,
When
Salman
the
also used to drive.
No.
Doesn't mean he's a good driver.
I like Salman. You see?
You're a shit
Ye log
driver.
kyun yahan pe so rahe?
You're a shit driver.
No, I'm a very good driver. Through the pandemic also, I drove first 2 years of my working life in Delhi. I drove from
I
Uday
asked you if
Park.
you're a good driver. The moment a person starts over-explaining, then
No,
you know.
what nonsense.
Then Leap Club, which sounds something like this.
साजिद भाई कल हो जाएगा ना पक्का? जी हो जाएगा। 12 बजे लास्ट है। जी हो जाएगा। पक्का?
Yeah, Mom.
Priya, you missed coming for my gynec appointment again today.
Shit. It skipped my mind.
But I reminded you twice.
I know, but I had a lot happening. What did she say?
It's fine. We'll speak after you're done with your work.
So I thought out of all of them, this was full of the most cliches, with Barbie being a
Yeah.
close second. The messaging was negative and hostile. That don't judge us. It wasn't a positive message. That
It wasn't hostile, but it was a little in your face.
though it was hostile because everybody who calls or disturbs is judging them. Or we always say we are not it was just, I don't know. I just thought it wasn't a positive message, and it was full of cliches, like I said.
And that people are taking advantage, or not even advantage, that they are not concerned about the fact that you might be disturbing someone who's working. Like, everyone is not like that. I know lots of people who work, including me, who, like, people respect your time. And
No, I get what they're trying to say. It's just very badly done. Also, what I found interesting was, I know it's, for an audience that can afford a shared working space or whatever, but everybody's of the same class. What I found interesting was that none of these was the woman who does your jhadu pocha or your bartan. It is all women who are in the top 5-8%, whereas the ones who are actually juggling is, I'd say the bottom 30%.
yeah.
And they were all addressing the juggling that happens of that class of professionals, whereas women farmers, when that was not kind of shown up in it. We should, next Women's Day, Rajyasree said, we should do a Women's Day ad. You and me and our producer Priyali.
And speaking of when you're saying about people who do the grunt work, what it's called, Urban Company, though, has just announced meat services for 45 rupees an hour.
Wow.
So I started doing the math. It's just like it's boggling the mind, because 45 rupees means they'll have to give something to Urban Company. Urban Company is not doing this as a charity thing, but it's fabulous.
So, Cars 24, the concept was, it's a social experiment. Just saying, to me, it did not seem like reality. To me, the people in the cars also seemed like actors. They were reacting too much to the people who they're giving the keys to. If you're going to the valley, you just give it. You would not look left, right, and then choose. So, I'm not convinced it is people who have no idea that they're a part of social experiment. To me, they seem... And the biggest problem I had with this one was that it is ageist. So you may have already seen that the concept is you have two valets, a man and a woman, and 98% of the people give the car to the male valet to park, because no one wants to give to women valet. Again, the stereotypes that women do. Now, they then say, let's turn it up a notch. They replace the young, smart-looking male valet with a guy who's having chips. He's looking sloppy. Yet they give it to him. So then let's turn it up a notch. Then they have a guy who's visibly older, but he's not so old that he can't stand. He's just much older than him.
He must be like 58,
Yeah,
60,
but he's old enough to know how to drive. So somehow, ageism is a discrimination that they're okay with. That would you give it to a man who is not doddering old, but visibly old? And somehow no one pointed out that, dude, now you're just being ageist. What's wrong with a man who's in his 60s standing
See how
there?
your man has said this.
No, I'm just saying that it was, out of all of them, I think the Cars 24 was the shittiest one, because neither did it look authentic, neither did the actors look good.
That's the thing. It did not look like it was a social experiment. It clearly, everyone was acting their part. Even the people who were driving up, if I saw cameras over there, and clearly they had proper cameras because you couldn't make out from the angle. As in, it was not, they should have scripted it better. It was anyway bad enough. But Tanishq had her choice. Tanishq always has Women's Day ads that they do.
We choose to be driven,
Okay, I'm off to work.
Bye.
to be independent, to be confident. It's all our choice. Everyone celebrates empowered women.
Sameer?
उड़ने को है पूरा जहां सपने हैं तेरी मर्जियां
It really annoyed me, this ad, because it basically says what I get, that if you're truly feminist, it's your choice also to not work, which I agree.
To
It
be
is.
a homemaker.
Be a homemaker, not be a homemaker. Maybe I'm single and I don't want to work and I don't know, like I have money and whatever. But it just seemed it was very in your face that, look at her, she's doing yoga, she's feeding the dog, she's doing this. Then her husband's going to work. And like it
Whose
basically.
name is Manik. What's his name?
Is his name Manik?
Manik something very.
And basically, it builds up to the thing that you think that she's dressed up because she's going to work. And then you realize that she's just dressed up and she's giving him, like saying bye to him and packed his tiffin for him. And then she's chilling on the sofa, which I don't know. You don't have to make an ad, is my point.
Yeah, if you don't
That's
have
my
an
other
idea.
thing. You don't have to.
So I think it suffers from the same problem, overacting and everyone being too lively and upbeat and the music being over, which all of them do. It, of course, does this googly on the freedom, to be a homemaker, which I'm not sure what I feel about that. It's a bit like saying that, hijab is a choice, which it is. But in the context that you're discussing that in a social construct where women are not being allowed to go out. And I think the reason that Tanishq is the one who came up with this counter-narrative ad is because Tanishq's target audience is not the working professional woman. I think Tanishq's target audience is the rich woman who's home buying jewelry.
No, but last year they had working professionals. So they mix it up. Giving them this thing, they do mix it up, but it's just like it has no impact.
So Rajyasree, before we do the last two, I want to, just mention, since it was Women's Day, and I remember on Women's Day, a lot of people earlier used to put this poem out. And it's by Maya Angelou. Angelou. Still I Rise. And I think for Women's Day, it is the ultimate poem that you should put. It is like the I Will Survive breakup song. It is the equivalent of Women's Day. But I think it is. And her reciting it. Have you seen in 1987? So this is the one that I think everyone should listen to. It's just 2 minutes, only 120 seconds, which is shorter than many of these really boring things. You should have just played this.
You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust, I'll rise.
Dude, she's so cool.
Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? Just because I walk as if I have oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my sassiness upset you? Don't take it so hard just because I laugh, as if I have gold mines digging in my own backyard. You can shoot me with your words. You can cut me with your lies. You can kill me with your hatefulness. But just like life, I rise. Does my sexiness offend you? Oh. Does it come as a surprise that I dance as if I have diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame I rise. Up from a past rooted in pain I rise. a black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling and bearing in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak miraculously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the hope and the dream of the slave. And so, wow. There I go.
Dude, she is the coolest cool thing out there ever. That recitation was outstanding, don't you think? Has this incorporated in any Women's Day thing by anyone? They should.
No, because they won't know who Maya Angelou is.
Oh, come on, yeah. You Bengalis think only you guys know.
We know everything. Also, you all should listen to Eartha Kitt. Eartha as in Eartha and Kitt, Kitt. She was one of the first black singers and she's a legendary feminist, independent woman.
But actually, good cue to tell you a little story from 25, 30 years ago when I was young.
When you were young.
When I was young, someone sent me this poem. This lady I was very fond of. And I apparently, in the MCP-ish entitled way, probably expected myself to be the center of any decision that was taken. So, like many girls, young, she sent me this poem as just this poem.
This one.
This was, yes. It was, I think, a scene ki chutiye. This world doesn't revolve around you. So, I sent her a poem in return.
It was written by David Dhawan.
By me.
This is the problem.
And it's called Still I Fall. So, I actually wrote it.
I'm not saying anything. I did not mean to laugh.
So I just pulled it out because I thought on Women's Day, we should also write a poem for men because we're always falling only. Put me on a pedestal or post me high. I don't have the wings to fly. Pick me up or stand me tall. But still I'll fall. Not light as air or fast as light won't shine like stars on moonless nights. Like Humpty Dumpty on his wall. I'll fall. I'm told you can reach for the skies, soar above the mighty ocean, don't gather moss and stay in motion. Armani suits and Hermes ties have a woman on each arm, a farm or orchard. Apples, pears, fly high and rise like no man dares. Glide and float, you've got to start. I try saying that to my heart. I can't. I'm rooted low and small. And still, I'll fall. You have diamonds where your thighs meet. A ruby too on each teat. Oil wells, gold mines, and bank vaults too. Jewels and emeralds of every hue. My loins boast not even lead. No oil wells, just blood throbbing red. Your giggle rings like cash registers. Your smile as soft as pus-filled blisters. Your laughter is like a royal ball, not for me, and so I fall. I'm not full of hope or full of want, nor silk and satin can I flaunt. My crystal glass won't brim with pride. It's empty, it's where my lust hides. Aground in a crater, an indifferent cavity, can't fight the certainty of gravity. And like raindrops in a squall, I fall in love. Feta!
Then did she break up with you?
No, I got a pretty poem, but fucking nothing. I'm still single at 50. It didn't work.
Didn't work? Maybe that's what you were aiming for. Did you? I know you very well. Okay.
But Rajyasree Sen, let's get back to one which I have made the note here because you feature in that review, Prega News.
I'm in
which
the
goes
Prega
something
News.
like
That's
this.
very scary. Why am I in the Prega News?
Which goes something like this.
सानवी बेटा आपकी नेक्स्ट टर्न है पर आपकी मम्मा अभी तक नहीं आई
उन्होंने कहा था वो पक्का ट्राई करेंगे टाइम से आने का
ट्राई करेंगी मैं कम इन मैम प्लीज कम इन ऑफिसर
मेरी रोल मॉडल मम्मा से सीखा है कि लाइफ में कोई एक ही रोल मॉडल हो ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है इसलिए मेरी रोल मॉडल हर वो वुमेन है जो ट्राई करती है.
It's clearly been made by a writer director of 1970s film or a 2000 soap. Because first you set up the person as very bichari. Ha ha, dekho ye kaisi hai, aisi hai, waisi hai. Then redemption comes. So
Also, no one behaves like this in a school. I am assuming that during parental
in 70s films they do.
No, but not now.
They say, dekh, visharam, hat, kurta, hat,
that's
hat.
not. So it's one of those schools which I don't think your child should be studying in this school.
First place.
Please, yeah.
So
please take out.
My notes say it's as subtle as Rajyasree's giggle.
I won't laugh
It's not a
in
good
this
line.
entire
Because the word giggle doesn't do justice to Rajyasree. Because she vomits a laugh.
Very funny. You watch 5 shows for next week as
you also,
punishment.
this is your punishment of just very
Which you won't watch, so it
screwing
doesn't
my
matter.
week and weekend both.
Which you won't watch, so it's okay.
What do you think of the Brega news?
As I said, they should. First of all, I was very confused that is she pregnant? That's why they are like it's so subtle the connection of Prega news, what the product is, and the message that I did not understand why they were doing this. But then they were being creative. I realized it's very sweet and all, but it's just too much. Like you all don't have to. Everything is like too sewed down the throat, nah? That look, she's such a hardworking woman. She's a soldier. Still, she's come on time for her daughters. This thing you don't have. We've understood.
And finally, Barbie.
Which should not be doing anything to do with.
You read my notes.
No.
Don't tell lies.
There are 2 links underneath this to my wonderfully intelligent articles on Barbie. So y'all can have the pleasure of reading them. I plug my own stuff all the time.
Because when we're young, our dreams are our world, our imagination, our reality. And when we hold on to that, we can be
anything, 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 anything.
Barbie. You can be anything.
I had the following points to make. One is that Barbie can sit this one out because it's Women's Day. Everyone's being a thing you don't have to make. I mean, it's like, Reliance Oil making an Environment Day ad for good environment, or, BJP making an ad for secularism or something like that.
And right after Reliance does that, then they remove the forests from a certain section or whatever, or take Siberian tigers and bring them to Maharashtra, which is just where they should be.
So sit it out. You don't have to make it. Secondly, if you want to use a sports person or a sport that someone wants to be,
A cricketer?
Everyone knows my views on cricket in general. But having watched women's cricket and women's football, I watched one nationals here when the nationals happening, an interstate team. The women's football standard in our country, pound for pound, is way higher than women's cricket standard in our country. It's just that not enough countries play
Money
cricket.
is always also put into cricket.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that some of the women football players I've seen play at Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium year before last. I think I watched the Gadwal versus, I forget which match I watched. I watched 2. And some of those women, they just don't have the training or the financial resources. Some of them from Northeast. I remember there's one girl who had come from, and I asked her, she was staying at some relative's house for, 2 months to attend the India camp, etc., etc. And she was phenomenally talented. But no one, there was no one even watching the match.
Yeah, it's very sad.
So, yeah. But next year, I think we should just make one Rajyasree to show how it's done.
Yeah.
Because,
because this is terrible.
Yeah. Dude, out of all the ones you saw, and this is a short list of 6. There were 9 or 10 in the long list. Not one really good one, yeah.
But if you watch the short film which Royal Stag has made, the woman plays a very pivotal role in it. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so we could have reviewed that also, but we won't. You all watch it yourself. Yes. We won't even put a link here because why should we promote like that? But I'm just saying.
Because they give you whiskey to drink.
Maybe they do.
Maybe they do.
But we are going to read, you're going to make an announcement first, actually.
And that announcement is the following. that the impunity of India's police and investigation by the Newslaundry and Newsminute team of journalists and reporters has already started. We are going to be covering at least 5 states, if not more. And there'll be at least 7 reporters and producers who will be going to these 5 states to document, investigate, and report on instances of custodial torture, encounters, and all sorts of police abuse. It is an extremely, extremely disturbing trend in our country. It has been normalized. No civilized democracy would tolerate this kind of, performances and conduct of its police force. We do not depend on advertisers, as you know. Neither do we look for Adani ads or Sarkari ads or government ads. We depend on you. There's a QR code flashing on your screens. There's a link in the show notes below. Contribute, pay to keep news free, keep Newslaundry free of any influence other than that of those who genuinely want journalism and news to survive because you believe democracy needs it. So support this project of ours and become a subscriber, a paying subscriber. Of course, you can also be a subscriber of our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But if you're a paying subscriber, you get all unedited episodes of all our shows, etc., etc. So Rajyasree Sen, you can read out some of the letters and then we get to Superman.
Chirag has written, I'm a member of Newslaundry for almost 4 years now. On episode 381, someone recommended Abhinandan watch a play by Ashutosh Rana called Hamare Ram. Of course, Rana as Ravan was awesome, but I just want to warn you, it's a very boring play. Of course, it got a standing ovation at the end. We were also compelled to clap. I fell into the same situation while watching Chanakya and Jisne Lahore Nahi Dikhaya
Oh,
Wo.
Jamya hi nahi.
What is that?
Jisne Lahore nahi dekha. It's a very famous play. It's
a play. Of course.
It's not a play, it's a play.
Okay. Of course, these are great stories, but in Hindi, they always make very boring, unnecessary, lengthy plays out of it. And then they complain that youngsters don't watch Hindi plays. Chirag's very upset. Don't be upset, Chirag.
But Chirag, if you find them so boring, why are you telling me to watch them? This is not fair, Chirag. You're setting me up for failure.
Yeah, he just decided. It's good that you've done this because you've taken the angst out of you. So that's one good thing. So Nali has written, Abhinandan's rendition of I Will Survive is better than Gloria Gaynor's, as upon listening to it, it would be impossible to remain devastated after a breakup. That's not a compliment.
So this is one of those compliments of Saif Ali.
Yeah.
We don't know whether it's a compliment or not.
Keep up the fab work.
But Sonali, thank you so much.
Gana gaate rahenge.
This is, as Rajyasree said, it's an insult, but aapka insult sar aankhon par as long as you subscribe and support our team of journalists. That's what matters.
Harjant has ticked me off again, so we'll read this.
We'll come to Harjant later. It's 230 words because we can only read 150 words. The rest we'll paraphrase. But first, let's read last week's emails. Yutan Surya has written, Dear Abhinandan and Rajyasree, it's been a while. I listened to Awful and Awesome. Life happened. No biggie. Shit happens. I'm glad I'm back. Forgot how much fun I had listening to the two of you. I have 2 things for this mail. I can pay more now for the subscription, so I was trying to upgrade to Game Changer, but couldn't. If your team could let me know how to. Yutan, Nekir, Pooch, our team will get in touch with you and we shall get you to become a Game Changer. Thank you so much for your subscription. People, be like Yutan. Support journalism. And second, do you know BTS?
What do you think BTS is?
Behind the scenes.
Carry on.
I have recently started listening to their music. Oh, it's a Korean band, I'm sure. And also looking
smart.
up their story. It's one of the best underdog stories and worth talking about. Also, good case study to address social prefixed notions of gender, culture, masculinity, and all sorts of things. Actually, good time to discuss it on Women's Day thing. No wonder they are so popular and institutions like Harvard have researched their story. It would be so good.
No, it would be a good episode for the podcast.
I can hear your researcher for the episode for free, of course. Okay. So, thank you. Yutan, you said you don't have to read this email on air, but we already have. But we will look at this. I'll make a note of BTS. We haven't done any Korean stuff, right? We did that Squid Games, I guess, at one point.
No, that's different. BTS is a phenomenon in itself.
Okay. Then Sai Deshpande's also, I'll read Sai's 150 words. The total letter is 215 words. Hi, please discuss Chhava, but watch a pirated version. Sai, you are...
It's come now on Amazon.
Then we don't have to be pirated.
No.
But good to know, Sai, that you are encouraging piracy.
Yeah.
It's a movie about Sambhaji Maharaj, son of Shivaji Maharaj. Growing up, I was told stories of Shivaji's kingdom, wit and war tactics. Not just at home, a Brahmin household, but also in history textbooks, Maharashtra State Board. It was a bit of an Amitabh Abhishek Bachchan situation with Shivaji and
So
Shambhu
sad.
Maharaj. Even though the sons have great capabilities, their dad's legacy pretty much overshadowed their life, story, and success. It is making heads turn across Maharashtra right now. Everyone wants to watch it. It's interesting because I found out when I went to college in Bangalore that in Delhi textbooks, Shivaji Maharaj was described as a goon and a dacoit. Oh, really? I didn't know that. I have heard it is a spectacularly made movie in terms of craftsmanship and technical execution from film lovers. It nails the Sanjay Leela Bhansali style of theatrical grandeur. And has great action sequences, but I feel it's very powerful propaganda. And then, that the Mughal was shown their place, etc., etc. So we discussed the Aurangzeb phenomena, which, this whole political, on, I think, last hafta, Priyali. And in fact, we had a professor who's an academic on this issue from Maharashtra discuss it. So I'd recommend you listen to that hafta because he had some fantastic insights into Sambhaji and Shivaji. And Rajyasree, Saurav Kumar, and then you can read this week's emails. This is the last one from last week. This is 168 words also, which is why it got left out. So we will read the 150 words. Saurav says, hi there, been watching your show for some time and love it. You both are great and really enjoy your banter. Rajyasree, you're great.
I am great. I know that.
To see great.
That's
You're like Modi ji.
Modesty is a very overrated virtue. If you know you're good at something, you should not.
What are you good at, Rajyasree?
I'm a great.
You're good at great.
I'm the great.
You're the great only.
I am the great.
Fuck being good at anything, I'm just great.
Great. Like so specifics, you don't have to be. Everything together. Holistic.
So Saurav goes on to say, I haven't watched a lot of Samay Raina, but watched India's Got Latent. Sam has been really decent on the show. Always respectful to contestants, respectful to elders and roasting, but not going to extreme. That's the kind of banter you guys do on your show, but a little extreme. As in, ours is extreme.
No, his.
I see.
We are very classy.
I found Samay witty and spontaneous. Okay, Rajyasree. I didn't say that. I never make that claim. I found Samay witty and spontaneous as well. Again, not commenting on his past shows. The other judges have been really crass at times, like Rakhi Sawant and of course Ranveer. Anyhow, they shouldn't have been forced to shut down their show.
Correct.
So Abhinandan, Bengali is not hard to understand. I can understand it a bit and I've never been to Bengal. Saurav, I've been to Bengal and I want to jump off a cliff.
Please, you quite like Bengal. Don't act smart with me.
The mutton curry is...
Even the women are very lovely. But as I was saying...
You are on Women's Day. You are making
women
such
are saying
sexist,
something good.
It
only.
is just, oh my God, I fall.
No, that's why you don't like Bengal now. Because you're Punjabi. You can't understand why are women such strong people in Bengal. It's too
All
much.
the Punjabis in the house, we got to teach her a lesson.
It's too much.
Send in your mails.
I want to just say that my view on this Samay Raina thing is that he is very respectful and all. The downfall was bringing Ranveer Elavade on his this thing. And otherwise everything would have been fine. But now you are known by the company you keep. This is something I strongly believe in.
Right. Rajyasree,
Or the company you run, like Reliance.
Okay.
Just saying.
Now, what about this week's emails? Do you want to read a couple of those before we get to Superman? We'll read the rest at the end.
Harjant, tick me off. I have to read that.
Hey Harjant, hope you're doing well.
Yeah. Hi Annie, your long-time listener and supporter here, writing in to provide some context on Sean Baker's work after Rajyasree casually besmirched the Anora filmmaker on episode 381. First, I didn't besmirch him. I just said he has kept costs down by also not giving medical insurance and various things to his crew. That's what I said. But he's a great filmmaker, I'm sure, although I haven't watched the film. Baker is an independent filmmaker through and through, and he makes films outside of the Hollywood machine, starring non-celebrities and struggling actors like Simon Rex and Mickey Madison. His films, I watched Florida Project, Red Rocket, Anora, and Tangerine, filmed on an iPhone 5, all focus on the marginalized and the subaltern, strippers, transgender, sex workers, struggling porn stars. Baker is very talented and industrious. His films are beautiful and critically acclaimed without the Hollywood machine. Hence, his sweep at Oscars is worth celebrating. And his speech lauded the importance of small-budget independent filmmaking and theatrical releases in an age of superhero
Superhero.
blockbusters and OTT streaming. I hope you seek out his previous work.
Rajyasree, always you're just beating
Just
up on the underdog.
trashing.
That is why anyway. And Harjanda sent another letter in which he's given us 2 recommendations. One is Emma Thompson plays a Trump-like populist turned dictator.
But I don't think this is available in India.
Well, he's going to YouTube this thing today. Okay, right. And The Consultant, an Orwellian thriller
which
about
is
tech
there.
company. Okay.
Okay, but we are going to discuss something. Superman, the Christopher Reeve story. It's a documentary about Christopher Reeve. It's available on
Amazon Prime.
Hotstar.
Sorry, my bad.
Everything is
Hotstar.
available on Hotstar. We have no refuge, but Geo Hotstar to be clear.
It's directed by Ian Bonhote, which I've pronounced incorrectly, I'm sure. Peter Ettedgui, which I've also, I'm sure, pronounced incorrectly.
Why are you choosing to name these people wose names you're mispronouncing?
Because they're the director and writer.
Written by
Ian Bonhote and Peter Ettedgui and Otto Burnham. And it's Christopher Reeve's story. So Rajyasree, what do you think? And it's it's not very long, by the way. It's 104 minutes, less than 2 hours.
Yeah, I was just... So I knew about the fact that Christopher Reeve and Robin Williams were best friends from the time they were at Juilliard. Juilliard is one of the most difficult to date
Acting schools, no?
acting schools. You know, you can even go in for music. So they teach a whole bunch of things, but it is one of the most
Did you go
difficult.
there?
Why you think I can't be an actor?
No, for music, for your singing. Did you go there?
They don't teach singing.
You
And they
just said
don't-
for music?
Music. Piano. My piano I learned there.
Vocals are not music.
No, but they don't teach singing, I think. But so I knew that they both went to Juilliard, and a lot of very well-known actors are from Juilliard, as in very talented, serious actors. So the fact that these two one is a comic actor and Christopher Reeve played a superhero at the end of the day. But so you get that entire thing of how much criticism he got from classmates like John Hurt and all, also William Hurt, when he got the role, that don't do it. You shouldn't do
You're
it.
selling out.
Yeah.
They mentioned that as well.
Yeah, but I loved the documentary, actually. I think also I have a soft spot for Christopher Reeve. I've always loved Superman. That Superman. Now there's some other Superman, I think. His that accident which had happened, I remember. So basically, if you don't know, there's no spoilers. It's a documentary.
It starts off with that only.
Yeah, so he had a horse riding accident in 1995 when he was very young. He's 40 or 42, something like that. And he was paralyzed neck down. And they do talk about the fact that they were able to give him the kind of treatment that he needed because of the money that was also coming in from various places. His friends also supported them financially. But he reached a point by sheer medical help and willpower also, where he was able to talk, he was able to move, his brain was working absolutely fine. But his journey to becoming an actor and his career, and how Superman was such a pivotal film for that time, right, when it was shot. And Marlon Brando had played his father. And
Carl Penn.
Not Carl Penn, Carlo Ren or something. But I remember, I think it's in the documentary also, where he's asked by either David... Jor-El. Either David Letterman or someone asked him, so what was it like working with Marlon Brando? And he says, horrible. Because Marlon Brando had a reputation of being... He was totally off the rails by the end, and he was just Marlon Brando. And it's like, although Jackie Shroff and Akshay Kumar also have their dialogues written on the other person, Marlon Brando used to have it written on the other person, and he'd have a earpiece. Like, he basically didn't know.
Yeah, but in this, what he said was he was just doing it for the money. He didn't give a shit about getting it right. He said, pay me and fuck off. I don't care about whether the film doesn't do well.
Yeah, but I think his journey to becoming an actor, his own relationship with his father, that then his two family, because he was married to someone, he wasn't married, she was his partner, and they had two children, and then he gets married after that and has another child with his wife, who pretty much stands by him through till he dies. And then it's a very tragic story overall. That family is what happens to her also. But I just thought it was very well scripted, the way the children spoke as well. Because normally I feel when they do these interviews, it all seems a little contrived, but it seemed very natural. And I don't think anyone was mincing words about, like, his son from his previous marriage does say that for a large part of my life, my father wasn't there. It's just that our relationship became better over time. But it's just, you just feel very bad by the end. I cried a lot. You did not.
So, no, I didn't. I thought it was good. It wasn't great. I think, it worked because Christopher Reeve is such a likable person. He is so normal in a world populated by weirdos. Because when showbiz, you just, warping of the mind is inevitable, because stardom, I think, does that to you no matter how good your intentions may be. So, which is why he's extremely likable, extremely normal. But it wasn't, considering, Superman, like, I think the concept of it, Superman paralyzed for life. As a one line, it worked better than what I actually got to see. But the one thing that I found really amazing was that how his wife did not give up. Even while his own parents said that, do we really want him to live a life like this? And when he himself, the bit that I loved was when he said that, why don't we just let me go? And he said she did not even bat an eyelid. She says, there's no way.
Yeah.
And he said, had she hesitated even a minute, I would have told them to pull a plug. So all the characters in this are so likable, so not just
lovable. And I love the friendship.
Yeah, they're just so
His
lovable.
Robin Williams
and he must have been devastated when Robin Williams died, man.
So that's the thing, right? No, he died before Robin Williams. Which is what they say, what Susan Sarandon says, that I do believe that if Christopher had been alive, Robin would be alive today. And I do think that also, that it's like they were clearly very, very close friends.
They were best buddies.
And when when you are suffering from psychological illness and depression and so on, and Robin Williams had this other illness, which is a muscle entropy kind of thing, that his closest friend was not there. And so that friendship is very nicely shown also, as in described. And you have a galaxy of people who are interviewed, who are very well-known people. And I feel even his journey of... See, maybe I was more moved because I like Superman more. I like
Superman. I think he's the best Superman there was. And for me, Superman 1, 2, 3 will be the original Superman
and
films. And they were the only ones who did it well. After that, Superman films have all bombed on after the other. So the
Superman film, which he did just for the money and because he had signed a contract, is one of my favorite ones, where he has the evil Superman.
3,
no? I really liked evil Superman, good Superman.
So I think, and he was such a handsome man. I think... He was even more handsome than Hugh Jackman. I think his physical, he was the specimen. If, like I had said, an alien came on Earth and said, show me the specimen of your species, for the man, I'd put him, and for the woman, I'd put Satyam Shivam Sundaram. What's her name? Zeenat Aman. I said, this is the specimen of how the species should be.
So I would put Michael Fassbender.
You would put, hey,
so funny.
I am the species I am the culmination point of species. I read intellectual
He doesn't
book.
speak broken English.
I am Nawab from Nawab land.
Please.
I have a voice. I am actor.
He speaks like this.
He might as well.
Please. Okay, I would put
safe.
Shut up. I would put Michael Fassbender, or in his heyday, Charlton Heston, when he did Ben-Hur, El Cid and all. God, he was so good looking with that square jaw. And Monica Bellucci.
Yeah, she'd also be a good specimen.
Oh my God.
I'd put
Monica
Hugh
Bellucci.
Jackman, Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, Christopher Reeve, I would
physically, even Arjun Rampal.
Yeah.
And Monica
Bellucci is
Zeenat
really
Aman.
Salma Hayek, although she'd be short. They'd
No,
be like,
that's
oh, y'all are very short people, but very hot.
You know,
Which is what is, I can say this, you can't say this. I'm a woman's.
On the one hand, you say this is a classy show. And on the other hand, as we are inching towards any sophistication, you just pull us down to
But
better.
she is short and hot.
Short and hot. Short and hot.
Is a
और
thing
इस
also.
हफ्ते की short and hot list में राजश्री सेन ने डाल
We
दिया
should
है.
have a list also like that. Also, there are 2 links which I will share
Yes,
with
Striling
our
and Pulling.
No, keep quiet.
You get the joke?
One, no.
It's a Hindi joke.
Striling and
What is it?
pulling. Pulling. What is
What-
the? I know.
What is the?
Women and men.
Have you entered your sentence? What is the? That's your
What is
sentence.
the women and men. What is the men thing?
Pulling.
Pulling. So I'm saying pulling only.
Okay.
I'm saying it like an English word. But there are 2 links which will be there. Munmun Sen speaking about Holi and Radhe Ma. BBC Hindi has done a documentary with
What the
her.
fuck are you? Why are you killing this show?
Because they are strong women characters for Women's Day. If I don't become really rich very quickly, I will start a cult.
You know, Rajyasree Sen, yesterday I was driving back from, I had to go for a work engagement in the evening. And there was this guy in a convertible because Delhi weather was great last evening.
Yeah,
Pollution is
it's
also
nice weather right
at
now.
fairly low levels. Not low enough to be
What is
acceptable.
it?
But
Even my mother's telling me, oh,
So-
there's no pollution.
no, there is pollution, but it's not as
320.
much as it usually is. So with the convertible,
Huh.
a Porsche or a Lamborghini, Ferrari, I can't tell the cars apart. And I saw this guy sitting alone. I was like, let me just get
You
his
should
number and
have.
call Rajyasree Sen because he looked also like Sukesh, whatever.
Sukesh is not nice looking.
Did I say he's nice looking?
So why will I? But this is why I'm single because I'm doing.
Sukesh?
He's not nice looking, but
You
he's
were
a
only
billionaire.
saying Sukesh, buy me
Yeah,
a
sorry.
like Jacqueline Fernandez. You also.
Poor
no?
Sukesh, 2 of his fingers are not there also.
Okay, Rajyasree, let's
These
get to the mails.
inputs, y'all don't
These-
like
no,
my
I don't
trivia?
like these inputs. No.
Quite
Before
good.
Rajyasree gets back to the email.
But y'all should watch Superman, the Christopher Reeve story. It is definitely worth a watch. And I do keep wondering what has happened to Schumacher, who nobody's allowed to see him at all. Because he must be also just lying on a bed somewhere.
Oh, is that
Not-
right?
Yeah, so ever since the accident, he has never been seen in public, and the one photographer managed to get a little over the wall or something, and they really clamped down on him. So because he was also paralyzed, right? Totally paralyzed.
So we have a couple of mails which are over 150 words, but we will read the first 150 words and paraphrase the rest, Rajyasree Sen.
I will synopsize. I'm an
Very good.
editor. The 503 words, I'm going to synopsize that.
Okay.
Hi, Rajyasree and Abhinandan. Firstly, let me commend you on the outstanding show. I have been hooked on it for years. The Awful and Awesome Show and the Weekly Nuisance Show were the reasons why I subscribed to News Laundry. So, Manisha will be here next week now. We've said it 3 times she has to be here. To introduce myself, I am Gen X. Read
Abhinandan's
Abhinandan's age. Communications professional living in Bombay. Okay. I have read this mail. I will tell you what he says. Basically, Michelle, I don't know, Michelle might be a lady also. Michelle says that she has binge watched, that they have binge watched 2 seasons of White Lotus based on my recommendation because Abhinandan has not watched this. And because Anne has pointed out many things which are incorrect or are not described properly in a luxury resort. And because Michelle has worked in a luxury resort, that's where they are coming from and pointing out the inaccuracies. But I have to say, I have also not worked in a luxury resort, but I
Have worked for a luxury brand.
For a luxury brand and very high-end luxury hotels. And to me, it is spot on, absolutely. This is the kind of insane stuff that happens at hotels, as in the way they also greet guests.
But
It's a little over
the point
top
Michael
and all.
is saying is that
Michelle.
Sorry.
Huh.
How do you know whether it's Michelle or Michael?
The spelling is different, Abhinandan.
I didn't know that.
Michelle, Michael.
Oh, like that.
Is it Michelle Jackson, you would say?
I
sang
wouldn't say
that
anything.
song?
I just say MJ.
MJ.
Come on. I'd say like that.
Michael Jackson could have been from Dune.
Yes, he could.
Going by his leanings,
So,
I'm just saying.
I mean, these
And
again, this
these
politically incorrect
tucha.
jokes.
Tucha jokes. Once
Tucha jokes.
Abhinandan was so angry with me. He said, "You are the kind of tucha person who would say this tucha thing." And at that moment, I did want to giggle a little, but he was so angry at me.
Can we talk
that-
about this?
So
No one
he's
wants to
again
know.
saying tucha person. I made a tucha joke about
So-
his school, alma mater.
So Michelle also says, Abhinandan, I have some things to say about Succession. Because I've been drawing parallels to the Murdoch family, and you'll send in the subsequent mail.
But in that mail, you will write 150 words only because I want to read it fully.
Yeah.
That's why.
Not 500 words. But there are two short and sweet mails. Vinod says, Abhinandan, you should review Adolescence. Your wish is Rajyasree's command.
I watched it last night.
Don't
Vinod.
review it right now.
1 second.
We'll
I'm
review it
just
next
saying, if you have a son or a daughter, but ideally if you have a son, but daughters as well, if you have children who are teenagers, preteens, you absolutely must sit down and watch this show because it is chilling, it is gut-wrenching, absolutely. It's also a masterclass in how to shoot. Each episode is shot in one take.
Which is a gimmick in my view.
Oh, keep quiet. And this show is, we will review it next week. It is just fabulous.
Yeah, but I'm just saying this one shot thing it's a gimmick. It's been done to death. Unless there is something inherent in that plot that it has to be done one shot, I don't see why. Because today technology can allow you to stitch scenes together even if it's not one shot. But be that as
But
may.
that's beside the point. The storyline and the script. Anyway, Abhinandan will watch this. No, don't. Come on.
So, but I just want to say, Rajyasree Sen, you started this review by saying, if you have son or daughter or children, which you could have said if you have children, you took 9 words to say something you could have said in 3.
Because I've learned from our letter writers only.
And then you went on to say, it is just the most, and you then did 2 sentences which you didn't finish. So I really was trying hard to follow what you're saying in so many words. It was hard. But
It was hard. Why don't you read the rest of the mail instead of acting?
So, according to Vinod, it's the best show I've seen in years. All departments made this show awardable. The actors are brilliant.
Awardable.
Nepo kids can learn acting from this show. It was gripping and fast and real.
So
Okay,
just
Vinod.
so you know, Vinod, the boy who plays Jamie, this is his first acting role. He's not even an acting student or anything. He gave the audition and he's spectacular.
It's his first acting role. Before that, what roles has he done? Non-acting roles. Anyway. So then Mohi says...
Silly.
Mohi says, hi Rajyasree Abhinandan. I've just discovered this wonderful podcast and have been a subscriber for a while. Which one, Mohi? Oh, this one.
How one? Mohi.
Mohi. I wanted to ask how much you've explored or discussed Iranian cinema on
We
this show.
have a really well-known horror film we had done, Babadook. Babadook is Iranian. I hope it's Iranian. Carry on.
She'll just check after spreading fake news. You, Rishi Bagri, Grok should also point out Rajyasree Sen. She should put you with...
Sorry,
all the-
Babadook is Australian, but there's a Iranian
Same.
one.
Close. Australia, Iran. I want to ask you how much you explored Iranian cinema. There are some classics by Abbas Kiarostami and Asghar Farhadi. It's a shame that more people don't know about them.
Under the Shadow is the one we reviewed. You watched it also.
Did I?
Do you remember?
I have no
It
recollection.
was very good because you blocked it out. It was so scary. Abhinandan's very scared of horror films.
It's the
that's
worst
why.
genre.
It is the best. Under the Shadow, which if you haven't watched, you should watch it.
And then Mohi goes, if you may, please watch Separation. No, A Separation and share your thoughts. It's the most chaotic and beautiful drama adapted into a screenplay I've ever seen. It's an Oscar winner from 2011.
I did not get moved by it, by the way.
Another thing which you might want to explore is the political angle, how the freedom of expression is censored in Iran, directors jailed for years and despite. Okay, I've heard about this. Another
I'm talking
taste
about
of cherry,
another
where
film.
the friend's house about Ellie. There was one Iranian filmmaker who he was under house arrest and at home only he made a film. A documentary which also won an award. I've forgotten his name. Mohi, I'm terrible with names, but I remember it was fascinating. He was in house arrest.
And
so he just
made
made a film
Good.
At home.
Rohini's written, "Hi ANR, love your banter and you are such a delightful addition to my week. I usually have the podcast playing during my treadmill workout at the gym," like me. "And I've turned quite a few heads every time you two made me laugh out loud. My question to A, given his many pointed Bengali jibes, are you familiar with the North Indian trick of making a Bengali say
11.
11, 12, 13, 14? In Bangla to poke fun at our pronunciation of 14 and what it sounds like in Hindi. Then she's explained what it sounds like in Hindi.
Just choddo.
Choddo. Hope my letter is family friendly enough to be read out. It's as family friendly as this podcast
As this
is.
show.
Yeah.
Ronnie, I didn't even know this. So, Gyoro, Boro, Tero, Chodda.
Keep quiet. Agaro,
Agaro.
Baro,
Barrow.
Taro.
So, Barrow. Where does the rabbit live?
In the barrow.
In the barrow. And Tero.
And the barrow number barrow.
Barrow number barrow. Good one. Rajyasree Sen,
I'm very smart.
I'm going to give you 4 on 10 for that joke.
Very smart.
4 on 10 for that joke.
Yeah.
Well done. Thank you, Rohini.
Lavanya has written, "Hi Abhinandan and Rajyasree. I just discovered E&E and I'm having too much fun watching the episodes while doing various things about the house, be it fixing a midnight snack, clipping and doing my nails, eating grapes or other such breaks. You seem to be doing a lot of interesting things around the house. Watching Rajyasree cackle and beam her big... So my eyes are watering because there's something in the studio which triggers my allergy.
Is that right?
Yeah, because as I step outside, it stops. It's not watering because...
Intelligence.
Every time Abhinandan pulls her leg or corrects her English is entertaining because he can't correct my English. You're an awesome duo with sometimes awful knowledge of what you're talking about, and that's what I love the most. Example, when neither of you could pronounce Barbenheimer properly, I'm sure we can Barbenheimer or get the full form of ROFL right. And nobody on set bothered to correct you. Wish subscribers could be treated to the full video version, but they can.
But they can. So, Lavanya, you can get the full video if you're a subscriber. And the link for the full video, unedited, will come in your the registered email that you log in
And if you
through.
log in through the registered email on the website.
Old episodes, yeah. So old episodes are full, but now full are available. Old it wasn't.
Yeah. For now, I listen to them when in the shower, while stuck in traffic, or even as white noise around the house when feeling blue. I have a bomb suggestion. You should do live reaction streams or watching movies together. It's a thing among YouTubers. This would be a big hit and a bigger hoot, trust me. When we were young, we used to watch a lot of films together. Now we are old, so Abhinandan can barely watch half an episode of something.
Yeah, dude, I just get so... Anyway, it's rolling on the floor laughing.
Yeah.
The is silent in the acronym. Okay, thank you so much for your support and your subscription, Lavanya. Please eat lots of grapes, eat papita. It's very good for you also.
It's the worst fruit.
It's the most healthy.
You know what you should eat? Strawberries, cherries, kiwis.
Roshogullo.
No. And
Chondo,
cool.
no?
Do you all know cool? Beer.
Kya cool hai hum. That was a hit film that you must have watched.
No, why will I watch?
Because it has
It
people
does not
like...
have Saif. It has Tushar. I don't watch films
Same.
with Tushar. I have standards. Even I have standards.
But Tushar and Saif are not the same league.
What do you think? Huh?
I think they're more or less the same
Kareena Kapoor would have married Tushar Kapoor. No.
Okay. So, I mean, if Kareena Kapoor getting married to a person is
I'm
is
just
what
saying.
makes them relevant, then
I'm just saying.
you know, Saif is a winner, man.
I am just saying. And that is it.
No, we have Anushka's email, which is 300 words. So we shall only read the first one. Hello there. This is possibly our first email to News Laundry. It's going to be short. I just watched a review of All We Imagine Is Light. Me and my sister watched it during our movie marathon 1 week ago, and both of us struggled to stay up even though we were looking forward to it. And I watched all my
I didn't
movies
watch
without...
it because of this. I thought it would be like this only.
Because it's boring? Okay.
I feel it would be.
I fail to understand how people are and have been gushing about how beautiful this movie is. To me, it felt like shots put together without anything weaving them together, which after I read a bit more about the director made sense, but it was still weak. Seeing how this email is failing to stay short, I'm going to end it with a recommendation. Fairy Folk, which is a film.
Yeah, Mukul's in it. Mukul Chadda and Rasika have made the film.
Pretty
It's
please
supposed to be
watch
very
it.
good.
So our producer will just put all these short films on a list and maybe we can watch them. And forgot to mention that it gives my life meaning knowing that my corporate salary supports News Laundry.
Good girl, Anushka.
Anushka, good girl. Auntie ho tum?
I am. I'm moisturized.
Thank you, young lady. It's a beauty. It's a beauty
She must
of.
be young enough to be my child only. If I had a child at the right age.
I know Abhinandan joked about how Supreme Court has not said anything on News Laundry's podcast in context of the Reeve drama, but NGL, I'm a bit scared. What is NGL? Not gonna lie. Oh, did you know that, Rajyasree Sen?
I know everything.
You didn't know
NGL.
it. NGL, you didn't know.
I don't know.
You were looking blankly.
How's that quality? I thought you were having like a seizure.
Right. On that note, Rajyasree Sen.
On that note, next week, Abhinandan will have watched the only 4 episodes that there are of Adolescence. He
It's
will
a scene, it's not a film. Okay.
No. And it's excellent. You
How
will
many
really like
minutes each?
4. So much information you don't need to have beforehand. How many minutes is it? Who's in it? Where did they shoot? What did they eat while shooting up?
I fucking asked one question.
No.
Yeah. What did
Adolescence
they eat?
and the thing which he is going to watch now, beginning to end, because you did not review it this time, is Emergency.
I will watch that also.
You have to watch.
In the beginning. Have you seen that? Have you seen that? In the beginning. It's so stupid, but it's so funny. I think stupid things are funny.
Then you find yourself funny.
See? Your subtle laugh. Oh, it's like the Prega News commercial.
It was very scary when you said Prega News reminded me of Rajyasree. I was like, what do you know that I don't know?
हमें भी नहीं पता.
It was too scary.
Okay, Rajyasree Sen, thank you. We'll be back next week, an extra episode of Awful and Awesome this month. Thank you. Here's this thing again, the QR code, and the link is in the show notes. Please subscribe and pay to keep news free, because when the public pays, the public is served. Our team of journalists need you to support us, because we do not want to be supported by governments, their ads, corporations and their ads. And before we say goodbye, we must thank a sound recordist, Anil Kumar, our producer, Hassan, and our senior producer, Priyali. Thank you, Ms. Sen.
Thank you, Mr. Sekri.
And it's a wrap.
Journalism at News Laundry is powered by the public, because when the public pays, the public is served. Visit newslaundry.com/subscription and pick a payment plan of your choice. Pay to keep news free and independent. Your future, and indeed the future of democracy, depends on it.